I always knew my wife was ambitious. That was one of the things I loved about her. When I met Emily, she was working a low-paying office job, driving a car that barely started, and studying at night because she wanted a better life. She had this fire in her that made people believe she was going somewhere. And I believed in her more than anyone. When we got married, she told me, "One day, I'm going to make enough money that we won't have to worry about anything." I smiled and said, "Then I'll be right there cheering the loudest." And I was. For 8 years, I supported her through everything. When she wanted to go back to school, I picked up extra shifts. When she had unpaid internships, I covered the bills. When she needed a quiet place to study, I cooked dinner, cleaned the apartment, and kept everyone away. When she cried because she thought she wasn't good enough, I held her and reminded her that she was. I wasn't rich. I wasn't flashy. I was just steady. And for a long time, that was enough. Then Emily got promoted. It was a huge promotion at a marketing firm downtown. Better title, better salary, better office, better clothes, better lunches, better everything. I was genuinely proud of her. The night she got the news, I took her to her favorite restaurant. I bought flowers, ordered champagne, and told her I always knew she'd make it. She cried at the table and said, "I couldn't have done this without you." I believed her. That was probably the last honest thing she said to me. The change didn't happen overnight. At first, it was small. She started dressing differently. Not just professionally, but like she was trying to impress someone specific. She bought expensive perfume. She started going to networking dinners twice a week. Then 3 times. Then suddenly every Friday was either a work event, a client dinner, or a team celebration. I didn't complain at first. I thought this was what success looked like. Late nights. Big opportunities. New circles. But then she started looking at me differently. Not angrily. Worse. Like she was disappointed. I'd be making breakfast, and she'd walk in wearing a designer blazer, glance at me in my old hoodie, and sigh. One morning, she said, "You know, you don't have to look homeless just because you work from home." I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Another time, we were getting ready to meet her coworkers for drinks. I put on jeans and a button-up shirt. She stared at me and said, "Is that what you're wearing?" I looked down. "What's wrong with it?" "Nothing," she said, in a tone that meant everything. At the bar, I noticed how she acted around them. Especially around her boss, Ryan. Ryan was the kind of guy who looked like he'd been designed by a luxury car commercial. Tall, expensive watch, perfect teeth, confident in that annoying way where people confuse arrogance with charm. Emily laughed too hard at his jokes. Touched his arm too casually. Looked at him when she said things she wanted approval for. I noticed. But I told myself not to be insecure. That night, on the drive home, she was quiet. I asked, "Everything okay?" She looked out the window and said, "You were kind of awkward tonight." That stung. How? I don't know. You just didn't fit in. I kept both hands on the wheel. I was trying. She sighed. That's the problem. After that, everything between us started feeling like a job interview I was failing. She criticized my clothes. My car. My income. My friends. Even the way I spoke. She stopped saying we when she talked about the future. It became I might move closer to downtown. I want to travel more. I need to be around people who motivate me. One night, I asked her directly. "Are you unhappy with me?" She didn't answer right away. That was my answer. Finally, she said, "I just feel like I've grown, and you're still in the same place." I stared at her. The same place. Emily, I stayed in that place so you could grow. She rolled her eyes. I didn't ask you to sacrifice your life for me. That sentence broke something in me. Because no, maybe she never used those exact words. But she accepted every sacrifice. Every paid bill. Every missed opportunity. Every late night I spent helping her prepare for interviews. Every time I chose us over me. She accepted all of it until it became inconvenient to remember. A month later, she told me she wanted a separation. She said she needed space. She said she had outgrown the marriage. She said we were different people now. I asked if there was someone else. She looked offended. Wow. So that's where your mind goes? I said nothing. She packed 2 suitcases that night and moved into a downtown apartment she said her company was helping her find. I later found out Ryan had helped too. For the next few weeks, she acted like she had been freed from prison. Her social media turned into a highlight reel. Rooftop bars. Fancy dinners. Hotel lobbies. Champagne glasses. Selfies with captions like, "Finally choosing myself." And, "Growth means leaving behind what no longer serves you." That one got to me. Apparently, I was no longer a husband. I was something that no longer served her. Mutual friends reached out with awkward messages. Some asked if I was okay. Some clearly wanted gossip. One friend sent me a screenshot of Emily's story. It was a picture of her and Ryan at some black tie event, standing much too close. The caption said, "Surround yourself with people who match your energy." I didn't reply. I just saved it. Not because I wanted revenge. Because I had a feeling I'd need proof someday. 2 months after she left, she came back to the house. Not emotionally. Physically. I opened the door and found her standing there wearing sunglasses even though it was raining. She looked tired. Not normal tired. Destroyed tired. Her makeup was messy. Her hair was pulled back like she hadn't slept. I said, "What are you doing here?" She took off her sunglasses. Her eyes were red. "Can I come in?" I almost said no. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. I stepped aside. She walked into the living room like a ghost haunting a place she used to own. For a minute, she said nothing. Then she started crying. I made a mistake. I leaned against the wall. Which one? She flinched. I know you hate me. I don't hate you. She looked hopeful. I finished, I just don't trust you. She cried harder. Then the story came out. Ryan wasn't the perfect man she thought he was. Shocking. He had been seeing someone else the entire time. Actually, not just someone else. His fiancée. Emily didn't know he was engaged. Or at least that's what she claimed. Apparently, Ryan told her his engagement was basically over and that he was only waiting for the right moment. Classic. Emily believed him. She left me thinking she was stepping into a better life with a powerful man who understood her ambition. Instead, she became his office affair. The real disaster happened when Ryan's fiancée found messages. Lots of messages. Screenshots. Hotel receipts. Photos. Everything. His fiancée didn't just confront him. She sent everything to HR. And because Ryan was Emily's direct supervisor, the company launched an investigation. Emily was suspended pending review. Ryan immediately threw her under the bus. He told HR she had pursued him. He said she was unstable after her separation. He said he tried to set boundaries. He claimed she misinterpreted his kindness. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was exactly what people like Ryan do. They create the fire, then point at the smoke and ask who started it. Emily sat on my couch, shaking, and said, "He said he loved me." I looked at her for a long time. Then I said, "So did you?" She covered her face. "I know. I know I hurt you." "No," I said. "You didn't just hurt me. You used me until you didn't need me anymore, then humiliated me publicly." She whispered, I was confused. "You were promoted." She looked up. "What?" "You weren't confused. You were promoted. You got money, attention, validation, and suddenly I became embarrassing." Her mouth trembled. "That's not fair." I laughed quietly. "Fair? Emily, you posted that you were leaving behind what no longer served you." She looked away. I was angry. At who? The person paying half the mortgage while you were drinking champagne with your boss. That shut her up. Then she said the thing I knew was coming. "I want to come home." I felt absolutely nothing when she said it. Not relief. Not joy. Not even anger. Just this deep, calm certainty. No. She blinked like she hadn't heard me. No. No. But this is my home too. Legally, yes. Emotionally, you moved out months ago. She stood up. So that's it? You're just throwing away 8 years. I couldn't believe it. I said, "You left me for another man." I didn't know he was lying. And I didn't know you were this cruel. We both learn things. She stared at me like I had slapped her. "I need you right now." That one almost worked. Because for 8 years, when Emily needed me, I showed up. That was my role. Fix it. Pay for it. Hold her. Forgive her. Make life easier. But standing there, looking at her crying in the living room we had built together, I finally understood something. She didn't want me. She wanted shelter. She wanted the safe version of her life back because the exciting version had collapsed. I said, "You don't need me. You need consequences to disappear." She started sobbing again. "I'm going to lose everything." I nodded. "Maybe. How can you be so cold?" That made me angry for the first time. Cold. I watched you replace me while I was still married to you. I watched you let people think I held you back. I watched you turn our marriage into a stepping stone. And now that the next step broke, you want to climb back down onto me. She had no answer. A week later, I filed for divorce. Emily fought it at first. Not because she wanted the marriage. Because divorce made her failure permanent. Her job situation got worse. Ryan kept his job longer than he should have because men like him always have layers of protection. But eventually the investigation exposed enough that he resigned before being fired. His fiancée left him and apparently took their condo, their dog, and half their social circle with her. Emily lost her position. The company offered her a quiet exit package, which she took because she had no leverage. The people she thought were her new powerful friends disappeared almost instantly. No more rooftop invites. No more luxury dinners. No more matching energy. Just silence. Meanwhile, I stayed in the house. I focused on work. I went to therapy. I reconnected with friends I had neglected while building Emily's dream life. And slowly, I started feeling like myself again. The funniest part. About 6 months after the divorce was finalized, Emily sent me a long email. It was one of those emails people write when they want forgiveness without accountability. She said she had been lost. She said success changed her. She said she hated the person she became. She said she missed our old life. Then she wrote. You were the only person who ever truly loved me without wanting something from me. I sat with that sentence for a while. Because it was true. And that was exactly why I couldn't go back. I loved her without wanting something from her. But she loved me for what I provided. Stability. Comfort. Support. A safety net. And once she thought she had found a better one, she cut mine loose. I didn't respond. Not because I wanted to punish her. Because silence was the only answer that didn't give her another piece of me. People sometimes ask if I regret supporting her for all those years. I don't. My love was real. My effort was real. My loyalty was real. That belongs to me, not her. But I do regret ignoring the moment she stopped seeing me as a partner and started seeing me as part of her old life. That's the thing about some people. They don't leave when they stop loving you. They leave when they think they've found an upgrade. And when that upgrade turns out to be a downgrade with better shoes, they come back calling it a mistake. Emily didn't make one mistake. She made a series of choices. She chose to belittle me. She chose to lie. She chose to leave. She chose to parade her new life online. She chose Ryan. And when Ryan chose himself, she tried to choose me again. But I was no longer available. The last time I saw her was at a grocery store almost a year later. She looked different. Less polished. More human. She saw me first. For a second, she looked like she might come over. Then she didn't. She just gave me a sad little smile. I nodded and kept walking. And maybe that sounds cold. But sometimes healing isn't a dramatic speech. Sometimes it's just walking past the person who broke you and realizing they no longer have the power to stop you. I used to think losing Emily would destroy me. But the truth is, losing the version of myself who begged to be valued was the best thing that ever happened to me. She wanted a better life. So did I. The difference is, I didn't have to betray anyone to find mine.